Hello, and thank you everybody for joining us today for our EB1A drafting segment. On Tuesday, you maybe have been joining us from that session where we actually did some use case demonstrations with how to use our legal research product. The screen you're seeing here for EB1A cases, and it's accelerating your workflow so you can get things going much more quickly on these time-intensive, extraordinary ability cases that can be really narrative heavy, can be really complex, and can really eat up a lot of time with your team. Josh, I appreciate you joining me today. I'm excited to
Absolutely.
work through this document here today and show people our drafting product. You speak to a lot of immigration attorneys and work with a lot of people in that are dealing with a lot of EB1A cases. You know, for them, this drafting product can be a really beneficial way to gain quite a bit more time. And that's I'm sure you're hearing that. Boots
Uh,
on the ground.
I was just
Um,
about to say, I was like, especially now as I know every attorney's caseload is getting busier and busier with more and more things as the immigration landscape is consistently changing. Some of these things that we had a lot more time for, we don't anymore. So even getting a first draft for a lot of these done in just a couple of minutes really is a huge time saver for a lot of attorneys there as well. So no, absolutely. Absolutely.
Absolutely. And we won't waste any time today. We'll get right
No.
into it. And if you are joining us today live, we will send out a recording. So if you do have to pop off for anything, you do have that option. I also want to encourage you to use the chat function here. I'll say hello out here. If you have a question today, feel free to send something in the chat. And we have our team here ready to assist you, whether you're a current customer or are completely new to Visalaw AI. And just as we get started here, I'm going to put up on the screen a QR code. If you want to book a demo, if you are new, this is your first time seeing Visalaw AI and you like what you see, the best next step you can take is to book a demo, talk to Josh, talk to Tyler, talk to Will and Jack, and learn a little bit about what you can do one-on-one and understand these specific workflows, how, maybe you're dealing with EB1As. Obviously, that may be why you're here. Maybe you're doing H-1Bs. Maybe you're doing something else. You've got a bulk workload in, and Visa Law can help you with that, and we can decide what the best way to use it is. So
Absolutely.
without further ado, Josh, I'm going to toss it over to you, and let's sort of work through this EB1A case here.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, so thanks again, Ian. I appreciate you handing that over as well. Um, for anyone that's new here, if this is your first time, this is going to be the inside of the Visalaw platform. When we actually go to do the drafts, very straightforward. We have a nice little sidebar option over here that says drafts. We're going to dive right into that. Within here, we'll see a bunch of different, again, previous documents we worked on. But for our case today, we're going to be doing that nice EB1A example here for us. And today is going to be the 28th. Um, Again, we have a bunch, as Ian already mentioned, we have a bunch of different process types in here with more and more on the way as our team is continually working through and adding all of these additional document types for us here to work on and work through. Um, with that said, we'll start with the EB1A. Some other things I always like to mention as well. A lot of people, especially if you have paralegals or other people that are working on these projects for you as well, we do have options in the drafts feature to actually being able to share it with other members who are using the Visa Law product. So if we have multiple people who are working on a similar project, just always a great thing to be able to have multiple people kind of either upload documents or kind of be involved in a process, being that we know every attorney is in an island and they have an entire support team usually behind them helping out within that. So with that said, the process here is pretty straightforward. We're going to begin by just uploading our documents into the system. One thing I'll begin the document upload process here, but while we do that, what I'll actually do is I'll kind of talk about some of the other features specifically to 2.0. Oops. With this, what we can actually do is I'm uploading these directly from my computer. We do also have our, again, on the sidebar over here, we have our projects folder. So if we have documents that have been uploaded into the projects folder, we can do that as well. We also have some integrations within the system here. This is in our staging area right now. The integrations can connect you with Clio. It can connect you with things like DocketWise. We have Google Drive. We have say OneDrive, and I think
Mhm.
one there that I can't remember right
Dropbox
now.
as well,
Dropbox, that's the other one.
and e-immigration too.
Correct.
All really great integrations. It's we refer to as bring your own case management. We want to integrate with the tools that you work with to make your work go even faster. And so those are awesome things that we can definitely show off at some point here soon. You also, if you haven't heard, there's something called Candle AI. If you want to work in your inbox, also a really great integration. That's something for another day.
No, absolutely, I and very much so. Um, but yeah, let's go ahead and do, do, do. Yeah, we'll wait for these to run through again. What the AI is doing here as well is it's actually reading through all of our documentation as we're uploading it here within the process. It's then going through and actually encrypting said documentation, making sure everything is kind of secure as we upload these files into the system here for us. Biggest thing when it comes to using anything within the product, obviously user and client security. So making sure everything in here is um, kept safe, secure, and confidential, which is super, super important if we're using this as a legal research tool. With all of our documents uploaded, we'll be able to move on to the next step here. As you can see, we actually have all of our documentation in here now. A couple of different things that we can do. If we actually go in and we select some documentation, we're actually able to go in to our documents to be able to see um, if we wanted to rename them using the AI, we can actually also actually organize these using the AI as well. What that'll do is this will actually place the documents into their evidentiary categories here for us by default, and it'll actually auto-organize them. These section tags, this basically allows us to tell you what sections you want that document being used in when you draft it. So this just kind of gives you a little bit more control over what documents are being used where. One more quick thing before we click off of this. We can also go in and we can generate reference letters if we wanted to. Obviously, not every document type is going to have a reference letter, but with any of these, the AI can actually do an analysis on the documentation that we've uploaded into the system. Um, and with this here, what we can actually do is perfect. The AI is actually going to show us who it sees as our recommender. If we have a template for how we want to do these roles, we can as well. It's also going to show us what documents can be used and are being used in order to actually draft each one of these letters. In this case, it appears to be Ava's resume as well as their interactions with our beneficiary here as well. So other things that are included kind of with the feature that we don't talk about too much, but just want to show that off because this one actually has the reference letters in it. Cool. With that said, let's go ahead and move on to the next step here. Within the system, what we're going to be doing next is the AI is actually going to run through. Again, we're going to then be able to select what sections of the document we actually want to draft. So if there's ever a section we want to either include or exclude, we can decide to turn these on or turn them off. But in our case, though, we would want to draft the entire letter. All of our case details here, these are actually being pulled from the documentation that we provided. So all of this information will be auto-extracted from all of our materials here that were used in order to begin the drafting process with this. Again, we even have things like the country of birth. We have the regulatory categories, the beneficiary specialty field, non-immigrant status, the current employer. We can even give a description of future works if we want to, where the U.S. location is. Then, of course, we can sign this. So, again, more and more details that we're able to add into the documentation and everything here before the draft actually begins, kind of allowing for more customization there as well. Last step here, this is going to actually go into how we want to refer to our documents in terms of the citations. So we can do these as tabs, we can do them as exhibits, name them something custom if we want to. If we have our own way we like to do that, we can do that, or we can decide, hey, we don't actually need the citations. We can include an index at the end. We can rename the index. We can annotate, ignore that generate AI report. We can also use a system default template, or we can also use our own pre-created templates, which we can talk about here in just a quick second after we begin the drafting process here. Typically, this is where the payment stage comes into play here. I'll go ahead and hit the next button and begin the drafting process. And we'll wait for that draft to launch here for us. Um, Drafts on average, I always say they take between 3 to 5 minutes. Again, it depends on what type of draft we're doing, the length of what that draft is. So usually your O's and your E's, these guys take a little bit longer, but that's just because they are usually a bit lengthier in terms of their response compared to something like maybe an H-1B or maybe some shorter documentation here as well. Um,
That's right. And as we look through this, Josh,
mhm.
how about we take a peek at the template section so that people understand how the templating works and where it's drawing from.
No, absolutely. So yeah, let's go ahead and we'll look into the templates here as well. If we wanted to go in and actually create a template of our own, we can do that here within the product. So let's say we want to do an EB1A, just because that's what we're doing today is the EB1A. A couple of different ways we can go about doing this. One is if we have an existing template already within the system, we can actually just upload it directly here. This gives us a baseline for the AI to work with. What this is going to actually do is this is going to give us a full, again, cover letter based on an existing one that you have in there, or an existing one that you've done. One that you really like is typically what I recommend people put in here. One that you got either good responses on. It's going to copy the language, or it's going to copy some of the language. It's going to copy some of the syntax, but a little bit less so on the structure side of things. If we want to get more into the structure of the actual documentation, I know some people include or exclude different sections within their letters as well. We can actually do that here within the manual side of things within the EB1A. So with this, we actually have all of our sections that are needed for the document broken down into categories. Now, what this allows us to do is this will actually give us a full kind of more, I like to say more manual control over the sections within the documentation here. So we can actually copy and paste from, again, an existing document or materials in order to create this template. What these are going to do is this is going to give us the ability to kind of have more of that structure, have more of the syntax and that information in here as well, where it's going to be more in line in terms of the actual written aspects, um, the actual written aspects of the letter in terms of structure, as opposed to just uploading one manually and having the AI extract the information. So really, really cool feature in here as well. Once this template is done, all we have to do is go in, we'd be able to save this. And then with that, we are then able to go in and actually use our existing template. In this case, when we went to that final step and said, hey, we want to use the system default, we could say, hey, I want to use my EB1A template, just because everyone has their own way of doing things. And, you know, we have a nice template that we think is fantastic and does an excellent job on its own, but every attorney's got their own special secret sauce and way of doing stuff as well. So yeah, that's a good way to kind of talk a little bit more about the templates there. Anything to add, Ian?
No, it's just one of those things. This is where you could build out an entire library of your different kind of documents and build those templates. Of course, Visalaw AI's the sort of default templates are things that we've worked on, things that our immigration professionals here on our side have worked out to be what we believe to be really, really, really strong drafts, and we'll see that in just a moment. And as we look towards that, I'm going to actually put my email here in the chat because if you want to take a closer look today at our draft, which you can see has been completed
Hmm.
here, we're happy to provide you with the output so you can take a closer look at that and just understand a little bit more, just what these outputs look like.
Absolutely. So perfect. Let's go ahead and dive right into that then. Yeah, like I said, only just a couple minutes here to actually get through one of these examples. Again, much faster than if we were doing any of these manually or by hand here, which is super, super important. But yeah, let's go ahead and we'll run through this. And we'll give it just a second here to load. So once this is done, perfect. All right. So as you can see here, this actually generated us a 17-page letter that we're able to look at and use here. Within the documentation here, what we're actually going to use, excuse me, what we're actually going to see here is we can go in and then we can actually make edits directly to this document. Um, so we don't have to open this up in another platform if we don't want to. This can actually be edited here within the system as we see fit. If we do decide we want to move it somewhere else, we want to move it to a PDF, we want to move it to a Word, we can download it separately as well up here to do either Word or PDF downloads to edit in the platforms we're more used to. But again, we don't actually have to go anywhere to do that. We also have some other tools built into this as well, things like our AI redraft tool. The AI redraft, what this actually does is any sections in here that we highlight, we can actually give the AI specific instructions to rewrite or change the way that this is written. So I can say, hey, I want to redraft this specific section. Let's maybe make it a little bit more clear, a little bit more concise. Again, obviously, we can give it whatever instructions we want here as well. We've now split this up into multiple paragraphs within this section here, making that a little bit shorter for us to now work with. We can copy this directly. We can also auto apply those changes if we wanted to. But this kind of gives us ways to edit the document without having to type it all directly here within the system. A couple of last things we'll show off here before we actually get into the bundling of the petition packet. Again, as we mentioned previously, if we wanted to, maybe we have a paralegal who's working on this or another team member, we can actually decide, hey, we want to send this out for review beforehand. What this will do is this can send out the documentation to, again, to one of our team members. It'll actually let us select who it would be. Obviously, we don't have any team members connected up on our end, but if we did have other members that were using the Visalaw product that we, or, other attorneys or people that we shared it with, we could do that as well. With that said, when all is said and done, we're happy with the draft that has been written. We're happy with all the responses here. What we can then go and do is we can actually download this petition bundle. The petition bundle is going to give us a, oops, oh, it is bundling, perfect. This is actually going to give us a full bundled document. So it's going to give us our letter bundled with all of the actual exhibits that were used in order to draft this. So it's going to give us that finalized packet, and it'll also reflect the exhibit packet in the same way it did in step 3 of the process here. We'll give this just a quick second here to actually bundle the documentation there. Perfect. So once this is done, let me just save that to my downloads. Fantastic. So as you can see there, we went from 17 pages to 136. So this has gotten much more lengthy in terms
we
of.
we're still on the Visalaw screen, Josh, but
oh,
yeah,
oh, go ahead.
it's
Let me.
I can't
Oh,
wait to see these 107. You said
yeah, hold on.
107 pages. Yeah, there you go.
100. There we go. Let me go ahead and share
And
that.
I
Apologies
always think
there.
it's important to sort of underwrite that point and be like, we just did an entire packet bundle here of an
There's that.
EB1, and just how remarkable that is that we did that in, I'm gonna look at the time here, under 20 minutes.
Right. Yep.
Um,
Yeah, 136 pages. So yeah, longer in terms of that length. So as you can see, we do have our letter here at the top. Same thing too, broken down in the sections as need be. I think Ian's already mentioned if you guys want to see a copy of this letter, more than happy to send over a copy if you guys want to do it as well. The other thing I always recommend is if this is something that seems of interest to you and you haven't done it quite yet, we do offer our 2-week free trial for the product. And with that, we are then able to actually go through together and can give you that 2-week free trial. Ian and I can talk to you guys about it until we're both blue in the face, but it's really not going to make as much sense until you guys actually go in and try that product out for yourselves. So again, we didn't do anything on our exhibit list here. Again, we could have broken this down by sections using that organize AI button, but for the sake of time, we just wanted to get this through. What we're going to see here, though, is we're actually going to get each exhibit, and then it's going to follow, including the information that was used to actually draft this petition here for us. So when all is said and done, this is actually going to give us a finalized packet as well as our letter here, and all of that done within about 10 to 15 minutes. Start to finish, we have a finalized 17-page letter. We have a 100-page packet. Whether you're doing this manually or whether you have a paralegal or you hire an outside writer to do it, all of this I feel is going to save you an immense amount of time regarding the actual length it's going to take you in order to draft any type of document. And Visalaw is here just to make your life a little bit easier with that. So
Yeah, that's exactly right. And so we're right up against time here. If anybody has any additional questions, we'd love to get those answered. So feel free to either put them in the chat now or send. You can send me an email, and we're happy to get that sent to the right person and get those questions answered. Like Josh said, this is Visalaw AI is obviously one of the. It's a great product, especially to be adopted by the whole firm. Is really the best way to sort of take that, because the collaboration piece is a really important part here. We've just gone from step one here in a blank page all the way to a first draft that a paralegal could have possibly done, and then sent this on to the attorney to really start the strategy, start editing, start really analyzing the real specifics here of the case, and getting into that. And we do have a question here
Hmm.
from Barry. Does my Visalaw AI platform currently do this, or do I pay it on a per project basis? We would
I'll
have to
say I
look
can,
in.
yeah.
Yeah, go ahead, Josh.
No, I was gonna say, and so I was gonna say a couple of different ways, depending on which type of account you have, Barry. We have some plans that are available, both our core plan and our pro plan as well. Like Ian said, we'd probably have to go in and check specifically right now which one that is. However, by default, the drafts is a pay-per-use product on the core plan. That being said, if you see yourself using the drafts more than twice a month, really that pro plan is going to be the best bang for your buck. Pricing there comes out to about $26 a petition. You're then also going to get 10 petitions, kind of a bucket that you
Bundle.
can pull from. Yeah, nice little bucket, nice little bundle, nice little whatever we want it to be within there that you can actually pull from without there being additional cost associated there for you. So we're happy to look more into that to you with you as well. And again, if you're interested in upgrading or if you're interested in seeing the differences on those plans, the pricing page on the Visalaw website also lists all that information out there for you as well.
Absolutely, and that's a great question and a great answer in regards to our pricing. We are right at the 12:30 mark. And so we appreciate everybody for your time today and for joining us. This was, we were able to get 136 pages done in 20 minutes. I think that's really remarkable. I hope that that
Absolutely.
sort of underscores the point of, really trying to drive efficiency and also just make the quality of life better for your support staff, for you as the attorney. That is really our goal with Visalaw AI, to give you guys something you can trust, an AI software that you can trust to do this really sensitive and important work that we know that we're all very busy with. So we appreciate everybody who joined today. Josh, I appreciate you joining as
Absolutely.
well. And so if anybody has any questions, again, I encourage you to email me. Outside of that, we hope you have a very good day, and we hope to see you soon again.
Thanks so much, guys.